Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Pravus Gaming, more Plague Evolved custom scenarios. It is first thing on a Saturday morning, and I just realized I forgot to record today's video, which means now I have less than an hour to record and edit something and get it up for you guys on time. Haven't had my coffee and my head hurts, but by God, the show must go on. We're going to be playing something called Zombie Deer Disease, there you are, by T with a little flower symbol thingy. Zombie deer brain disease spreads to 24 US states and Canada and increasingly threatens humans. Huh, is this a real thing? I don't know. An incurable mad cow-like brain infection nicknamed zombie deer disease that causes deer, elk, and moose to behave strangely and aggressively have spread through half the US. You know, the idea of mad cow-like brain infections on a moose actually is terrifying. And some fear it may soon turn up in humans. Chronic wasting disease renders its victims uncoordinated, confused, aggressive, while also causing them to lose weight and eventually their lives, giving rise to the nickname Zombie Deer Disease. Wow, there's a lot of good information here. This is interesting. It must not have spread to my state, because I have never heard of it. Either that, or I'm just completely ignorant as to the deer population. That is entirely possible. It is possible that number of humans cases will be substantial and will not be isolated events. Well, I'm pretty confident in my hands. Not an isolated event? Yeah, more or less a guarantee. This is going to be a worldwide epidemic, even in places that don't have deer. Alright, catalytic switch, Darwinist, oxide streamophile, and dopamine inhibitor. Do I want to go for this? Yeah. Don't always want to go for a catalytic switch. I think I usually go for the metabolic jump. The catalytic switch is in the rare cases where you have an unbalanced scenario and I have a lot of time on my hands to get a lot of extra DNA from the blue bubbles. Alright, zombie deer disease it is. In February 2019, so last month actually, a number of papers reported on a prion-based zombie deer disease outbreak spreading across the US and Canada. This takes that scenario to the most horrible conclusion. See, I like this idea. I like this idea a lot because it's an actual thing that's modern and recent and actually is relevant to people. This does not support veganism. Also, if you want to make it authentic as it is happening, start in the US or Canada. Okay. I didn't assume... Why would I assume that it started with veganism? The only reason we're really going to care about it is because we hunt. I don't want to start in Canada. I was going to say Canada sucks, but Canada's a really hard starting place. Alright, we'll start in the USA to be authentic. Here we go. Transmissions. Herds compromised. The prion begins to spread through small bunches, mobs, parcels. Rangales... I don't know how you say that. And finally, 2 herds. Okay. And then zoonotic shift, which just allows for cross-species contamination, which in this situation actually makes a lot of sense. Bucks fighting. Dramatically spreads via bucks fighting for dominance. YouTube channel, greatest buck fight of all time, lures many to try and record the fights. Well, that's just sort of sick. I mean, buck fights can get kind of violent. I don't like how people have this desire to go and watch animals fight each other or kill each other and post things on YouTube. Nature shows, sometimes it's educational, but other times it's just a perverted pleasure. Fecal root. I think I stepped in something. Deer and buck droppings contaminate hunters who take it back home. My brain, in its addled, non-caffeinated state, immediately thought they took the fecal matter home like a souvenir or something, because they were curious. No, it's because it's stuck to the bottom of their shoe. I just made that connection, but that's where my brain immediately went. So I'm like, that's weird. Do hunters make a habit of that? I wouldn't know. Saliva, blood, and segmented genome, those are fairly standard. For our symptoms, we have dazed. People start to drift off. This seems pretty normal, I think. Decaying deer. Wild deer go from looking scruffy to far worse. Who's scruffy looking? Decay is noticed and posted online. Scabies suspected. And we have hypersalivation. I know this typically leads to the zombies. Would the deer root eventually work its way over there as well? Because the thing about the zombie plague is I kind of want to go straight for the zombies. Alright. And we have our standard heat, cold, and drug resistance. Alright. Well, let's go ahead and play. Now, of course, we did start off in the USA, which means we have an urban and wealthy nation with reasonably good healthcare, despite what people say. Yes, it's unaffordable, but it is actually pretty solid healthcare in most cases. And it is going to slow down our disease quite a bit. I guess we'll go for the bucks fighting. That leads to eat the buck! Impressed by the power of the buck, the hunter takes him down and eats him later. The buck was infected, of course. Oh, good. The rich countries just got even more difficult to infect. That's what I wanted to see right now. All right. That's great. Yeah, all right. I think it's hilarious, though. I have been impressed by the power of the buck. I must consume his flesh and gain his power. I mean, that's basically what's being done, right? It's not actually that infective. I guess we'll go for the fecal root, and that picks up camping. Relaxing and stewing in the contaminated environment, hunters take in more of the prions. And this is why hunting should be banned, I'm just saying. I desperately need to drink some water. You know that thing like when you first wake up in the morning, and you've clearly been mouth breathing, because like the saliva in your mouth has gotten a little bit, I don't know, dry and congealed, or just like sticks to your teeth and stuff? Ugh. This is why I usually don't record in the mornings if I can avoid it. In the food, consuming the tainted meat, the hunters are completely compromised. The prions begin to multiply. I guess we'll pick this up because it keeps going down an interesting route, though I do want to pick up Eat the Buck just for the novelty of it, if anything else. Meat storage. Prion-infected meat spreads via contact with other stored meats. We call that cross-contamination. And in areas where groceries are storied? I think I found my first typo. This actually, he was doing really well. He was doing really well. Okay, I gotta give him credit for that. Storied in cars. Ah, well. Not gonna hold that against you. You were doing pretty good. We really need to get some drug resistance going. I need one more point. Let's pick that up so we can spread a little faster in places like the USA. Because, well, it was a really unfortunate first event to have rich guidelines. Frickin' UN and your guidelines, international guideline things. Ugh. Disbanded, I tell you. I want to spread faster. Alright, we're getting into the Caribbean fairly early. Got into Egypt, got into the UK, got into Russia, and Australia, and into Brazil. That is most, I think, of the United States' international routes already taken up. So that's pretty nice. I guess we'll go for the meat storage. That leads to Whole Foods merchants. The spread continues via a range of food products, refrigeration, storage, dairy. It spreads into all parts of the food industry. For 16 points, that's a reasonable amount of infectivity, I suppose. Would certainly be better for us to go for the zombie plague immediately. That tends to be the best route. I mean, on Mega Brutal, if you're at all curious, like, generally speaking, the best thing to do actually is just go straight for the zombies. You don't have to get very much in the way of infectivity to actually win the scenario. So, do we want to continue down this? I'm going to pick up Eat the Buck just for the sake of it, and then we're going to go down to symptoms. We get hyper-aggressive bucks. Wild bucks begin seeking out and killing hunters. Some welcome the challenge with best fun I've had in years. Oh, that's sad. Alright, we're going to go down the dazed route, I guess. I can't do that right now. My wife is still sleeping, by the way. Infected people begin acting really odd. However, due to political correctness, not much is said. Really? I'm pretty sure that political correctness aside, if somebody started wasting away and had mad cow-like symptoms, that's not a politically correct, sensitive topic. I'm pretty sure people would point it out. At least, God, I hope they would. Maybe I'm wrong. Well, we got then we go for confused. People forget where they were, lose track of time, get into accidents. This is blamed firstly on long working hours, and then on poor work-life balance. Clearly, we should have more federal guidelines reducing the number of hours people can work per week. Even though we already have very low unemployment, and that's a terrible idea, despite some people like to say it, because they make them think they are smart. Delirium. Reduction in cognitive function causes irrationality and paranoia, can be fatal and significantly reduces future research speed. And then we have the cytopathic reanimation, which is obviously what we are going for, because zomboos. And then after that, I think we'll just go down a little bit of the buck route. Let's find out what they can do. Clever girl. Does begin attacking people. While not harmful and initially funny, this effectively spreads the prion and launches the careers of a few YouTube stars. Yeah. Now, if the real zombie disease was anything like the ant zombie disease, right, that actually kind of reanimates the ants, or at least mind controls them in a way. If the real zombie deer disease did anything along those lines, and it was a fungus that helped make kind of reanimate corpses in some way, then I think this would be far more interesting as a zombie plague, because right now it's reanimating the dead, and this is where we've obviously gone a little bit outside of the range of what it's capable of. But nonetheless, let's continue exploring. Hey, look, there's a lot of customized material down here as well. Most people don't bother because there's a lot of symptoms. The first massacres. The shambling dead are aided by bucks, launching themselves at people en masse. In the urban areas, more zombies. In the rural areas, more deer. Oh, it's the perfect army composition. Enhanced sensory integration. Okay, actually, this one is pretty normal. Bucks are more precise for the enhanced motor control. I guess I'll pick this up because I want to do anything that has to do with the bucks. Peptide surge? No. Vesticatory tension? Deer bites become more dangerous. If it says deer in it, it has to have a priority. Because it's technically customized content. Oh, of course ZCOM sets up in frickin' Greenland. Why wouldn't you? Let's go for Horde Instinct, Structured Travel, and that's movement. Well, wait, I didn't mean to get Structured Travel. I meant to go for Horde Mentality. Gosh dang it, my brain is not as strong in this. Yeah, okay, whatever. Horde's gonna have thousands of zombies. We're gonna send some people from Canada to invade Greenland. I'm telling you guys, it's a struggle. It is a serious struggle, and you guys should be very appreciative for the things that I do for you. I'm just saying. Authorities cannot protect against the zombie deer disease. Of course you can't. Australia, invade New Guinea. Thank you. What's left? Little pieces of Africa. India? India doesn't have any zombies, but it's definitely infected. No, it has zombies, but no infected. Well, that is interesting. All right, well, let's just keep pushing around over here, and let's see, you go over here. And that's all the points that I've got at the moment, but that should solve that. There we go. We need as much severity as possible because, again, that does increase the effectiveness of your zombies, for those who are not familiar. This has deer in it, so I'm going to go for the anabolic boost. We have lumbrical hypertrophy. Overpower a deer! Hey, we can go for that one, too. It's a silly arbitrary rule that I put upon myself, but we're going to do it anyway. ZCOM dares to set up a new base. I wonder where they think they're going. Let's send some people over there, then send some down into Morocco, and they're going where? You are going to Southeast Asia. Well, that's no problem whatsoever. Greenland, its entire population has already been replaced by zombies at this point. China, go forth, invade. You know you've been wanting to do that for years. There's the Horde pheromones. We could go for the autolytic decay. Slowing down the decomposition does tend to be pretty good, I find. Certainly better than reanimating. That doesn't work very well. Adrenal surge. The alertness and aggression of zombies and even the smallest doe. I'll pick that up. Hyperosmia. Thinning of the nasal epithelium significantly heightens zombies and infected animals' sense of smell. Interesting. ZCOM grows stronger in Greenland, you don't say. Well then, if that's the way it's going to be, let's send all of Canada's population to Greenland, where they can die in the frozen wastes that are this pathetic glacier land. I actually really would like to go to Greenland someday. It just sounds pretty, you know? I mean, I'm sure that it is indeed a hellish glacier land, but that's still kind of cool. One of the things I think people don't know is that Greenland is still like a part of the Kingdom of Denmark, technically. Right? They haven't actually got like an independent government officially, which I guess makes sense. It barely has any population to speak of at all. Keep sending millions of zombies over to Southeast Asia. Can't allow ZCOM to exist. The rest of these countries are still being infected. Let's go for Clever Girl because, you know, reasons. Any infectivity to kind of finish people off? No. So we'll just go for Peptide Surge, then the Acidic Reflux. Sure, deer vomit becomes terrifying. I'm pretty sure if I saw a deer vomit in real life, I would indeed be terrified as is. Be like, ew! Ew! Alright, we need to send some more zombies over to Angola since they're pretty slow, it turns out. Here's 5 million more. Have fun with that critical mass. But frickin' boom, what's left? Just Angola. Come on, Angola. Extreme heat wave in Iraq causing my zombies to decompose. Dang you, climate change. You've lost the game for me. No, it doesn't matter. No one cares. Zombie deer disease has successfully destroyed humanity. Mindless zombies infected have hunted down and consumed the last survivors. Well, that was a fun disease. Again, I haven't really heard of zombie deer disease in my state, though it might be all the way down in Virginia. It would make sense. There's plenty of deer population in Virginia. But I really have never heard of it. But I really like the idea of a modern, real concern that I've never heard of being made into Plague Inc. That's pretty cool. I'd like to see more things like that happen. 514 days, 86% cure progress, 40,657 points. Can I trip over my words any more than that? 2 stars. Yeah, I like that one a lot. And thank you for the emergency content. I have... oh, good. 20 minutes to edit this and put it up for you guys and come up with a thumbnail. This'll be fine. All right, thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed. If so, then I ask that you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to that notify bell if you have not already. Send me your suggestions on Discord, and I will see you guys next time.